Sometimes I get into a weird like competition with Dane of like who's
more?
who grew up in the smallest town, and he'll say something, be like, "Oh man, in my hometown we had this," and I'll be like, "Well, in my hometown we had this," and he'll be like, "Oh well, we had this."
Well, in my hometown we didn't have
yeah,
it.
and we didn't have this. Hey, welcome to Front Seat Gamer. This is episode 138. I'm Blake. I'm joined by Sav
Yo.
and Kiara.
Hello.
So, Kiara, you are one of the UI artists at Grinding Gear Games.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what you do and what showed up on the trailer? That
There's three of us in the UI team, and we've kind of got our own areas. We all work on what needs doing.
Yeah.
But it's kind of worked out that I do a lot of work on PoE 2, and I'm also starting to go down the 3D route as well. I'm more experienced in 2D art.
Okay, but you were responsible for the new 3D UI, right?
Mostly, yeah. So the in the trailer, the main bit of my work that was shown there was the 3D HUD, the heads-up display. I worked with Dane on that, who you've had on the show.
Yep, he mentioned
already.
it. He mentioned you as well.
I know. Yeah, so he and I worked on that together. I sort of did the design tweaks for it and modeled the sort of the bones of it. And then Dane helped with the sort of more technical sort of lighting, texture, baking kind of stuff. And the inventory screen also showed up in the trailer, which I'd been working on for a long time as well.
Yeah, that's true. I always focus on you doing the 3D stuff because like you were working on that for quite a while, and it was it was
an ordeal.
Yeah, and it was your like passion project, I think, because like you really pushed for it.
Yeah,
like, I think like Eric was fine with. What
Eric
was
just wanted it 3D.
Yeah.
But he didn't really care about anything else.
Right.
Whereas I, for some reason, that HUD just kind of possessed me, and I was like, it needs to be beautiful. And I got to sneakily do lots of things that I thought were fun.
Yeah.
I got to sculpt some ladies.
Right, yeah.
Which was great.
You that's interesting because like you have some real problems with the Linares and
I'm not a huge fan of the design.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, I mean,
they're not chained, that's the thing, right? You want to bring back the chained ladies.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of the chained girls at all. If they asked me to do like different variations on that HUD, I will not be doing any chains.
Right.
But I don't. Yeah, as I've explained to you before, I don't really mind sexy ladies so much.
Yeah.
But chained, sad-looking ladies, I'm a bit like. This
I remember
weird.
it was this. I remember you saying it was like particularly the sad look on their face that they're like, "Oh, I'm chained up. This sucks."
Yeah.
If they were happy about it, it would be
yeah.
different.
If they were into it,
If they were like, "This is great. I love being chained up," you'd be like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, I mean it's still weird, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but getting to tweak Luminaris and Solaris. I remember David looking at the sculpts that I did and being like, they actually look healthy now.
Oh, right.
And I was like, yeah.
Were they too skinny before?
They were very like stick figure before.
Right. Yeah.
And I just because I have a background in fine art, and anatomy has always been a strength for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I almost can't help myself if I'm sculpting a figure or
Yeah.
a creature or anything. It needs to be accurate.
Right.
I can't help it. So yeah, I had a good time with that. And then sculpting architecture was new for me.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
something that you do a lot, but
Yeah.
I haven't really done much of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the HUD, and I mean, lots of people worked on that.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit my baby.
It was it was definitely like you really took that on yourself to
Yeah, I was like,
to-
Eric,
to
I'm
see
taking this.
through.
This
Yeah.
is mine now.
because I do remember you telling me like, oh, Eric has said, can't we just do this? And you were like,
No. No, we can't.
no, we're gonna do something way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say you're new to 3D?
So, like I say, I have a background in fine art, so
Mhm.
I've been
Sculpting.
drawing and doing some traditional sculpting.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I went to media design school to learn digital 3D. That was the reason that I went. And I don't think they taught us particularly well.
Did you do the game course or the 3D
Yeah.
course? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I did. I think they're still using my drawing portfolio as the example for the
Woo.
class.
Wow.
'Cause like
Isn't
I
that
said,
good? Why
I mean,
are
it's
you-
good. It's good, but it's like I wasn't there to learn how to draw, so
Yeah.
it wasn't really fair for them to be like, here,
Oh.
class, this is the example of what you should be able to achieve in this class. It's like,
Yeah.
well, no, because I could do this before,
Oh,
and
right.
I've like, it's not representative of what your class teaches
Yeah.
at all. Anyway,
Did you think the teachers felt really proud of themselves when they saw your work that
I don't
you
think they were
already
thinking. I
could
don't
do?
think they were. I don't think they were thinking about it like that. I just think they were like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. We'll use that as an example."
Wow. What year did you go there?
2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
graduated 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I was there to learn 3D.
Yeah.
And I learned a little bit of 3D,
Mm-hmm.
but it never really.
Talking Maya, ZBrush.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. ZBrush, because of the traditional sculpting that I did,
Mm.
I really liked ZBrush.
Cool.
Not so much for the program, but for being able to sculpt digitally.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Did
That,
you?
that was the goal there. They try to remove all that garbage of topology and stuff.
I
And
mean,
then
yeah, but they replaced it with a shitty UI.
just- yeah. Well, why is it shitty?
Like all the options are nested within menus. Within menus,
Yeah.
nothing is like clear where it is or what it does.
Mm. No
Yeah.
good?
Terrible.
Don't you just like get a damn standard and go to town?
No.
No? Okay.
Just yesterday, I was called Dane over. I was like, Dane, why is it not doing the thing I want? And then it was like, I dynameshed before trying to remesh, and apparently
Right.
that was not right. And I was like, yeah,
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know. Apparently you mean to, or in this particular case, you should remesh first
Right.
and then dynamesh. I don't know. We got working in the end, but I'm still not quite sure how.
Jeez. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, ZBrush is one of those programs that, like, if you don't use it regularly, you forget it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not beginner friendly either.
yeah. Did you ever try any other similar things like Mudbox?
Actually, as part of trying to prepare for MDS, I played around with Sculptress.
Oh, what's that? I've never heard of it.
It was like the little baby sibling to ZBrush.
Okay.
It was a free program. It wasn't
Huh.
nearly as powerful, but I mean, I think it's now actually kind of been integrated with.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, now it's like
Oh, wow.
part of the package, but
Yeah.
back then it was like this little free sort of
Wow.
thing. And I sculpted a horse head and put it in my portfolio to
What
apply.
inspired you to sculpt a horse head?
Yeah.
Anybody that knows me knows that I'm that crazy horse girl that never grew out of it. I was that girl in school that was always drawing horses. That was me.
Wow.
I make no apologies for it either.
Yeah, timestamp it.
Yeah. 14 minutes in. That's all it took.
Go. All right.
Yeah.
Do you still have it? The sculpt of the horse head?
No,
Oh,
no, I
damn.
don't. I've moved.
Oh, really? That seems like something you would have kept.
No.
You've got a different. Is that a different horse that's on your Twitter then?
Oh, the painting?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a painting.
That's a
Paintings
painting?
are easier to keep.
Right. Yeah.
They don't take up as much space.
Yeah. I suppose keeping a ZBrush file.
Also,
around is-
I got uninstalled
oh, yeah.
Sculptress ages ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I've tried Sculptress,
Mm.
and at MDS they kind of tried us with Mudbox and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Never really,
I remember.
never
Like,
clicked with it.
I remember Mudbox. Like, I was when I tried it, I was like, this is gonna be my sculpting tool. I was like, screw ZBrush. Its interface is too stupid. And Mudbox the interface was exactly the same as Maya.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started using it, and then like it just did not. And for a while there was like they were competing with each other.
Yeah.
Like they would have an update that would like
Man,
make
that's
ZBrush
crazy.
better, and then Mudbox would have another update that would make that one better, and it was like this ongoing thing until just ZBrush just dominated.
I will say this is like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
ancient history now.
yeah.
it's more than 10 years ago. This was 2007.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a very long time ago.
Wow,
I
shit!
remember
And
that.
they were still teaching us that in MDS in 2017.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dang.
That's why I was like wondering if Mudbox was even still around.
Well, it was at least in 2017
Okay, 10 years later, still there.
in schools, which is the main problem with
Yeah.
game schools. Is that they are always 10 years behind
Yeah, that's
of the actual
That's
industry.
the thing. If I taught there, I'd be like, all right, guys, Mudbox,
Photoshop.
Photoshop.
It's kind of like it's kind of the same problem with books nowadays too.
yeah.
Like, you know, you print a book about something,
yeah.
and like it's out of date in 2 years.
Yeah. I wonder how
Especially-
many
You're
like.
talking about encyclopedias?
Or like, you know, any non-fiction book
Yeah.
about anything.
I wonder how many like 3D Bibles have ever been. You know, like 3D art, 3D. This is how you do it. This is the Bible.
Oh right,
Oh,
okay.
like-
I was like, 3D Bible?
Yeah.
Is it like
Not like-
Holy Testament? I was like, what?
Or like the Maya Bible. Like how many of those have been made? Because it'll be like out of date.
It's-
Like
yeah, I at the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, they've
Yeah.
got like a gift store thing
yeah,
because and there's always a book section,
yeah,
and I just don't know who buys them.
yeah.
because everything's online and updated faster.
I think I still have a Maya 7
Mm.
like book lying around somewhere
Mhm,
that
mhm.
for the longest time I was just using it to raise my monitor.
Yep. It's a good paperweight.
It's a good paperweight.
Good
It's
doorstop.
good thickness. Yeah.
That
yeah.
was like my anthropology textbooks after I left uni.
Right. Oh my god.
And my old laptop was my doorstop.
Oh my god. Wow.
That's an expensive.
Yeah.
doorstop.
It was actually my high school. So I went to a school where they made us have laptops.
Whoa. Really?
Yeah.
Holy hell.
We're so old, Blake.
Dude, when I went to intermediate, which
Yeah.
is I guess middle school for Americans,
no, I was in middle school. Did the Americans have middle school?
no, they call it middle school, and we
we
call
called
it
it middle school.
really.
Yeah.
Oh, we called it intermediate.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. Because yeah, most intermediate schools have intermediate, which is like
2 years.
2 years,
Yeah.
and then So my school went. I arrived there at what would be intermediate.
Yeah.
But it went through the whole
Mhm.
from primary
Oh.
to high school.
Oh, really? Whoa.
That's,
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And
Holy hell.
and yeah, it was divided into primary, middle school, which for us
Oh.
was years 7, 8, 9, 10,
Okay.
and then we had high school.
Wow. Okay.
So anyway, yeah.
Well, anyway, when I was in intermediate, middle school, part of our stationery pack was a floppy disk.
Mm.
And I was like, this is amazing.
I remember floppy disks.
Yeah.
I'm not that young.
Yep. Yeah, so that's just me telling you how old I am. Yeah. Um, you mentioned GDC, and you, I think, quite like involved in that sort of like games, like conferences and organizing that. Yeah, community. Yeah.
Well, relative to the rest of the people at our work,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Well,
Um,
you've had meetings with people organizing stuff. Like you're an organizer of some of this stuff, right?
So, I've been in the past quite involved with the New Zealand scene. So we have our own Game Developers Conference. It's the New Zealand Game Developers Conference, or NZGDC. And I helped with like volunteer coordinating that conference since 2000. I volunteered for it 2016, and then 2017, 18.
Yeah.
No, 2017 I was a volunteer again.
This was while you were at MDS?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this because they encouraged you, or is this
Yeah,
something you wanted to do?
yeah, we did have a lecturer who was like, yeah, if you should volunteer at conferences and like, start making friends and whatever. And yeah, I enjoyed it. So I helped run that conference, and I also helped out with a couple of other conferences that we have here. And then I got a scholarship to attend the big one in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, real GDC. I think
The
is what we
real
call it
GDC.
around. Yeah.
A scholarship, wow, to attend.
Yeah.
From MDS?
No. So, there's the International Game Developers Association, and then and they kind of coordinate, obviously, international game dev things. And then there is the International Game Developers Association's Foundation.
Oh wow.
Which they're a charity organization, and their mission is essentially to make games more accessible for people to get into and to like keep the career going, kind of thing.
Okay.
So the foundation has, things have changed recently because of COVID, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
They had 3 scholarships. There was IGDA Scholars, which was for either recent graduates or like about to graduate. This was people wanting to get into the industry, which is the one I got. And then there was I can't remember what they called it. We started calling it Velocity.
Yeah. Okay.
But it had a previous name which I've now forgotten. It was kind of like the marginalized people, trying to encourage and like clear obstacles for people of marginalized demographics to get more into games.
Yeah.
And then we had Next Gen Leaders, which was for people mid-career who kind of felt like they were maybe getting a bit stuck and like needed a boost to like kind of keep the ball rolling on their careers. So yeah, I got the Scholars one, and that was awesome.
What did
and overwhelming?
Was that just based on your work, or was there something? Did you have to like apply for it?
Yeah, you have to apply for it. And the judging criteria was, like they do kind of look for people from varied backgrounds and like demographically, geographically, and I mean, you had to write quite a few essays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they looked at the work you're doing, your sort of leadership potential, I guess, and I'm trying to remember now.
Your fine arts ability.
It wasn't.
Yeah. What about your art
wasn't.
ability?
It wasn't so much. It wasn't so much based on like, how like like
they want to see potential.
Yeah, they want to see
Right.
potential. They want to see people that are good people.
I think I get it. So it's like more than just a good artist.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
the
a
next
good-
like a leader and a future mentor or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. Like someone that would pass on the
Right.
leg up, if that makes
Yep.
sense.
Yep.
and yeah, and they're also, I guess they also look at, for example, later when I was helping select for this, we would look at, okay, we've got so many artists, so many programmers. Ooh, this person does localization. That's a kind of a rare person. We should help them get into the industry because we need more of those people. That kind of thing. So there's lots of factors that go into it. So yeah, I got that scholarship, and then I, went to GC, and it was a lot. It's a huge,
talk about it.
overwhelming.
Like
very
both of us have
overwhelming.
never been.
Yeah,
Right.
I was meant to go that 1 year after I think a lot of grinding gear people went, and something happened, so I didn't go. But that's another story.
Yeah.
Right.
Which year did you go?
So I actually first got a scholarship to go to that one from the New Zealand Game Developers Association. That was in 2017, I think. And then I got the Scholars one 2018.
Right, okay.
I think.
I think that's the year I
have
went.
no perception of time anymore. Like, my memory is bad to begin with, and then COVID.
You're saying 2017, and I'm thinking, oh, that's quite recent. But
yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Yeah, dang. Yeah. So GDC is a conference that happened again.
Yeah.
COVID's happened. Yearly in San Francisco around March-ish. And it is very expensive to go for most people. The tickets are ridiculous. It's very exclusive.
Oh yeah.
For that reason, which is why there are so many scholarships aimed at helping people get there, because it's, trying to counteract that kind of paywall obstacle.
Yeah. You almost already have to be in the industry to even afford to be able to go there.
Yeah. I mean, like without those scholarships, it would pretty much just be publishers and big AAA companies, just, trading the same information every year.
Yeah. It isn't open to public, eh?
It has like a expo thing that opens up in so it's a whole week.
Yeah.
The last couple of days there's an expo floor that opens, which is where people are like demoing their games and things like that. So there's that bit. And they've got a student pass which allows you to go to some of the talk streams.
Yeah.
But they've got various tiers. It's like a massive money making thing. It's the top 1% kind of deal. Again, which is why so many scholarships are trying to increase the variety of people that go.
Well, you need young blood.
Yeah, you need fresh ideas, fresh things. Yeah,
fresh meat for the grinder.
Fresh meat for the grinder. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I think they had something like 25,000 people there. So it's a lot. There's people everywhere. There's a million things happening all at once. There's so many parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the big part of GDC for a lot of people is like the partying.
Yep.
Because it's like networking and that kind of that kind of deal.
That's where the real deals.
It's the wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
And it's honestly the whole week is just a blur of like stress about am I in the right place at the right time? Am I talking to the right people?
So you went there trying to network, or
well, I mean, as a student, you don't know shit.
Yeah.
So so you kind of just hear about GDC is like the great golden beacon of knowledge and like all the people who are doing real well and like the people you should look up to and all that jazz. So you kind of don't question that you should want to go and like be there and it'll change your life kind of deal. I mean, it didn't really change my life. I met.
What impact at all did it have on you?
Well, what actually happened is that I went and I made friends with the people that run the course.
Oh, right. Yep.
I just got along real well with them. And then when one of them had to move on, actually one of them messaged me being like, "Yo, you should apply for the position because we probably could use someone who's, not American."
Oh, right.
Because it is very American centric, obviously. And also they thought that I would be a good fit.
Cool.
Because, as you know, I like to talk to people, and I find it personally quite easy to.
Yeah.
They said that they wanted me to join it because I made everybody else feel much less awkward. And,
oh, nice.
Because I'm a goof.
Yeah, you got that right.
So yeah, and then I did apply and I did get it. So I've been helping run that scholarship since then, which was 2019 onwards.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and I'm now gonna help them out a little bit with their online programming that they're doing now.
Yeah. So how has it been last year?
Yeah, it's been a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt very sorry for the last cohort that were the 2020 cohort because they, they worked so hard to get that scholarship. It's very competitive.
Yeah.
We get like 350 applicants a year and we choose 18.
Oh, wow.
Across the world.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of a big deal to get it. And then COVID happened and GDC got cancelled and they were like, do we get to still go?
Yeah, does it just transfer over to the next?
But we didn't know if we were going to have one next. And
I mean, they must, right?
Well, I mean, we still haven't. It's not happening this year. It's happening online again.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at that point, they're not eligible anymore either.
Right.
So,
oh my God.
And it's not like they're just going to sit there and wait.
Yeah.
And not try and get jobs and stuff.
Wow.
So it's been an absolute mess. But we cobbled together an online kind of program. One of the major benefits of that scholarship is that you get a mentor.
Okay.
In your field. So we were still able to offer that, and you also got interviews with industry veterans.
Cool.
Kind of, it's pretty cool.
Did you organize the industry veterans yourself?
So I mostly helped with just the running of things.
Okay.
We've got another coordinator who's in America, and then with our director, who's got most of the contacts. So he does most of the finding of mentors.
Yeah.
And the other two, because they're American, they're there in their scene.
Yeah.
I've been able to find some mentors from our side of the planet.
Any big names?
Oh no. Now I'm gonna blank. There were a couple of Australian people. Someone from Mountains that did Florence. I don't know if you know any of these. How knowledgeable are you of the Australian scene?
I'm absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then you wouldn't know anyone that I've picked anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So, but we managed to cobble together an online version for them.
Yeah.
And now we've this time around, there's been a reshuffle of everything, and we've got a real big proper online experience planned for this year. The other Scholars Coordinator, Sarah, has been working mostly on that.
Cool.
And yeah, I think this year they're kind of combining all of the scholarships because we can now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so
that sounds like a whole second job that you're doing as well as working at Great.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah. And because time differences and stuff, our meetings are during lunchtime for me. So,
oh right, yeah.
So every now and again,
Wow.
I miss out on group lunch because I have to be on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not missing much. Yeah, so also before starting at GGG, you worked at RocketWorks.
Yes, I worked for the Dunedin studio. Was my first job.
Yeah. Did you? What did you work on there?
So, I was hired as a concept artist, and on a sci-fi shooter
Okay.
kind of game. It's the kind of game that Rocketworks mostly makes.
Yeah.
It's sort of space themed.
I guess that is like people. I don't know if like listeners know, but that's like Dean Hall's like company that created Daisy.
He of Daisy
Yeah,
fame.
yeah.
Yes. So I worked in his Dunedin studio, which was the original one. And he has subsequently made another in Auckland.
Yep, and he pinched a whole bunch of our like
people. And then you got one. You plus one.
Oh yeah, plus one. Yep.
This is a good trade.
Yeah, good trade. Good trade.
Did a swap seats.
We need those guys anyway. Screw them.
Yeah. So, the project that I was working on was their big project that they were working on for, and the thing is
but
that
that was not Stationeers, right?
No.
Right.
No, it was not Stationeers. I don't even think we ever actually announced that project.
Yeah, because the only games I know that came from there was Stationeers, and I think there was a VR
they did a couple of VR
army
things.
game or something.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So our project was very big, very ambitious.
Yeah.
Like, it was Dean's grand vision.
Was it survival?
No, it wasn't. It was a shooter.
Okay.
A first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Sci-fi space.
There was a project that had, wasn't there like a some kind of cinematic cut together by an
that would be Icarus. That would be their current Auckland studio one.
No, I'm talking like 4 years ago.
Oh god.
It was shown at like a Microsoft conference.
Oh,
I
wow.
believe Dean had his name attached to it.
Huh. Maybe
there would have been that one then.
Wow.
But that would have been for funding. That wouldn't have been a public thing.
I vaguely remember this. I could probably find it.
Do you remember what it was called?
No, but it had you know how people are like putting saran wraps in sci-fi things, in like movies and stuff. I don't know. It shows like mass-produced people or something. I don't know. It had that kind of imagery.
Interesting.
Right. Okay.
I'll have to find it and I'll leave it on the Facebook page if I can.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure that was like the tease and Dean's name was attached. And there was a lot of money being thrown at that thing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, when they brought on me as a concept artist, they'd already been working on this for a while. Which normally the concept artists are involved in the beginning, in the pre-production.
Oh, yep.
I also was the only in-house concept artist there, and it was my first job.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Yeah.
Pressure.
And yeah, so I did concepts for architecture and clutter. Did some playable characters, which for someone in their first job as a concept artist is unheard of. But
that is a very indie thing, though.
It is quite an indie thing, yeah. But that team was big. It was like 45 of us.
Okay, yeah, that's
so
it's
like
big.
It's
yeah.
And I don't know if it was indie because we did have external funding. Does it count as indie?
Yes, it still does.
Okay. I'm still not quite clear.
You don't have to be self-funded to be indie.
Okay.
You just have to have a little bit.
The game was called Ion.
Ion.
Yeah. And it was revealed at Microsoft's E3 2015 conference. Dean Hall actually announced it. Yeah.
Did he come out on stage?
Yeah, man.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. So this is ancient.
But then it never came out.
No.
I mean, clearly.
Yeah. Unless it's like somehow hidden somewhere on Steam.
Okay. Oh, no, wait. I think I do know what that one was. Ooh.
There was a cinematic anyway, but
So
the thing you were hired on for.
Yeah. Okay, so my project was birthed out of the ashes of that one.
Oh, God.
Yes.
The ashes.
Oh, God. There was so much drama.
Wow.
So many ashes.
So many ashes. Yeah, no, there was a big falling out between Dean and the guy who was like the art directing it.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was a whole unhappiness around that I missed.
Mm.
And then when I arrived for this new project, people were like, "Oh, you're so lucky you missed that."
Wow.
Yeah, so anyway, with the project I was on, been working on it for a while, before they got a dedicated concept artist in, and yeah, like they had a talented team there, but it didn't really know what it wanted to be. We tried, we worked on
Yeah.
it.
Did you work with Dean directly?
I
Trying to
didn't work with
establish
Dean
art?
directly.
Okay.
The new art director for that was a guy who used to work for Bethesda.
Whoa.
He actually did most of the like the combat animations for Skyrim.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, it's just a swing of a sword like that.
No,
but-
like you know when you jump on the dragon
I
and
get
you
it.
like
I get it.
face
Yeah.
spike it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did those.
Ah, cool.
He was a real nice guy. I don't know if he would want me to name him.
Don't
So I'm
name
gonna
names. It's
not,
always
You've
best.
given
but-
too many details already.
Yeah. But he was a real good dude. And I had a lot of pressure on him and tried to shield us from it, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I worked with him mostly, and I also worked with the writer and the Cine 3D people, because it was kind of, I mean, I was the only concept artist and first job, so I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out how do like while I was there, and so kind of part of my process that I evolved was, you know, collecting feedback from the different departments and you know, seeing what the needs were.
Right. Yeah.
Anticipate the needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had no other concept artists to
Yeah. Wow.
learn
Jeez.
from.
Yeah.
How long were you there for?
I was there for 10 months.
10 months.
Mm.
Well, and then you just thought, this is like I'm done. I'm exhausted.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can't deal with this.
Yeah, so I was there and it was a little hectic.
Mhm.
I can imagine.
Whenever Dean played a new game, or if a game was announced that looked exciting, our project would change.
That sucks.
It really did. And I think I started there in January or February
Mhm.
of early 2019.
Yeah.
In November that year, our art direction completely changed
Oh wow.
because Cyberpunk
Oh
did
really?
a trailer.
Oh wow.
So the irony is
Yeah.
massive.
That's tough because like I've worked on projects that like feature creep comes in, and it's like you need someone to just
I
cut
mean,
it
yeah,
and be like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like
there's a point at which there's pre-production happens, and then you have to start locking things in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it never gets done.
otherwise you're just floating around.
yeah,
forever.
and the project never gets done.
Yeah.
And
I'm real sad to hear that Dean, his opinion about what he's working on can change so easily.
well, the thing is it I think a way it could have worked was if you had Dean there to drive up the hype and like be the spark for the beginning, but then he needed to let the dev team do the
Make
thing.
it, yeah.
Leave them alone.
Mhm.
not metal anymore.
My beef in this situation is that he doesn't have a vision, which sucks. And
Yeah.
and that lacking is big, I think.
Yeah. Or he has like a dream. But
It involves expensive cars.
no,
That goes
that's
without
a whole
saying.
different thing. That's a whole nother thing.
Is it more like? Is it like the dream is? I want to make a really great game,
It's to live
but
the fantasy,
no
man.
idea of what that
Yeah,
great
Yeah,
game
there's
is.
no direction. It's
Yeah,
stuck.
Yeah.
Well, it's just live the fantasy.
Yeah.
Of like the high flying AAA game studio.
Mm.
I mean, yeah. Well, we won't get ahead of ourselves, but so yeah, with that project in November, it completely changed, and I was at my wit's end by that point.
Okay.
And one of the UI artists at Grinding Gear,
Oh yeah.
who was a classmate of mine, and this is
Right.
how jobs go.
Oh, that's Steph, right?
That is Steph. Yep.
She's on our D&D podcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Small circle.
Yeah.
well, this is a problem, isn't it?
Like-
Games
like
is
we-
small, and New Zealand games is very small. But yeah, so I was in contact with her. She was my buddy from uni, and she was like, "Yo, one of our people have just been nicked because
Yep.
Rocketworks is starting an Auckland studio."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yo, get me out of here!"
Yeah.
And so I applied,
Mhm.
and it was the weirdest art test I've ever done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Chains.
Sad face ladies.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
waves. Nah. Normally with an art test, you get kind of a brief,
Yeah.
and you get a set time to do it.
Yep.
And then you kind of pass or fail, I guess.
Yeah.
Or you do fine, but somebody else had more experience or whatever. With this one, Eric said, do these things,
hmm
and that was it. And I was like, okay, like when? But I did something. I was like, okay, as quick as possible. Then I'm assuming. So I
Yeah.
did it in like a day and a half,
hmm
and then because normally 2 days is real fast.
Yeah.
So I like motored through, sent it back to him, and then he came back being like, "Can you change this thing? And, like, can you like redo that one?" And I was like,
Yep.
"Okay." And that went on for 2 weeks.
Whoa.
Mm.
With
What-
backing and forthing, and I was like, "What is going on? Like, is he actually like getting me to do work and not paying me? Like, what's going on?" It was so strange. And then like at the end of 2 weeks, I kind of was like, "It's been 2 weeks. I feel like this is my last like attempt."
You're like, I'm gonna invoice you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We're
was
gonna start
like, what is
invoicing you
going
for that.
on? I actually like reached out to like some other people in games, being like, "Is this exploitative? Like, what is this?"
It's very strange.
It's so weird. I was wondering.
Did he know it was an art test?
No,
Did he-
I think I was. My theory is that he was testing to see how I take feedback and like
Yeah.
how I am to work.
What your
with.
breaking point was? How
yeah,
long?
Yeah. How long? I don't know. I still don't really know what was
So
going on.
strange.
So weird.
Have you brought this up with him?
No, I haven't. I've just accepted that Eric is Eric. Eric does Eric things.
He's definitely Eric.
Yeah, he's definitely Eric. But yeah, and then like I sent that email, and then like a couple of weeks went by, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
No feedback. Oh, no.
So I emailed him again, and I was like, "Are you going to hire me? I need to let my landlady know
Nice.
if I'm like gonna move
Yeah.
back to Auckland." He was like, "Oh yeah."
Wow.
Oh, I thought we already did. That's what all the
Oh my
feedback
god!
was.
Oh my god! It was the most bizarre thing ever. And then I was like, "Okay, cool." And like he was like, "Yeah, we'll send you like a contract. Here's the draft contract." And I was like, "Okay, that looks good. Cool. I'm gonna move up now."
Cool.
And then I did. And then like my day that I was gonna start arrived, and I
Yeah.
arrived there, and Steph let me in, and they were like, "Oh shit!" They like had no idea that I was there.
Oh my
No
God.
computer set up.
No computer.
No computer.
Whoa, that's a shock, actually.
And then also I hadn't.
Holy hell.
Apparently, I hadn't actually signed the final contract, which they'd never sent me.
Wait, well, what did they send you?
They sent
The
me
draft
the
contract.
draft contract.
Oh, so you were supposed to go through it and be like, okay, this is good, and then
I
they'll
did.
send you the.
I was like, yeah, cool. And then, and then like Eric like came up to me and he was like, "Hello," and it was like, "Nice to meet you." And then I was like, "Yeah, the contract." And he was like, and he would look so confused, and then he was like, "This is messy," and like wandered off, and and then like that Monday.
This is out of character. No, wait. I'm putting a halt to this. This is not Eric to me.
Really?
No.
I don't know. Like, he was so strange. And then, like, and then that Monday meeting, like, we're sitting there having the work meeting, whereas I've just printed out the contract and I'm signing it.
Wow.
And then when I gave it back to him, then they had a computer set up and then I just started work. It was so weird.
So
All that
strange.
time you were not working?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that whole day. It was
Yeah.
like I had a half day that first
You're
day.
charging for that day? You didn't even have a computer.
It was so weird. And yeah, like I've heard many very different stories
Yeah.
like of how people's like hiring and
Yeah.
first days went. Mine was just very strange.
Mm. I had to play pool with Eric for him to give me a art test.
He's
I
just,
let him one.
he's a unique man.
Yeah.
I enjoy him a lot
Mm.
now. Like yeah, I feel like we work well together now, but it took a while.
Yeah.
Hmm. Why? What's your?
Oh, this is ancient history.
Yeah, let's hear some ancient history.
How far back?
As far back as you can remember.
It was just a art test of we need this asset. Make in-game asset
Uh-huh.
from this asset.
Uh-huh.
Did it, and then flew up to Auckland, met the team, and was offered the job. Then, but it was not directly with Eric. So I met Chris, Reese, Dylan, a lot of the earlier guys as well.
How many people were at Grinding Gears when you joined?
Harry wasn't there that first day.
Oh,
He was working from home.
yep.
Harry, the MVP of
Yeah,
early
Harry.
grinding.
He's never been on the podcast.
Never.
Aw.
But yeah, he what was he? Employee number one.
He was employee number one. Yeah.
But yeah, Dylan, Jonathan, Chris, Eric, and Reese, I think were the ones
Reese
there.
was employee number 2, right?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure. I think I remember we had him on
Mm.
the podcast, and there was some like argument whether or not Reese or Harry was employee number 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
There were some other guys too. So I know Dylan was there, and there was another guy called George/Yuri, and he was the first 3D artist there.
Okay.
They've gone off and done their own thing. But yeah, those were the very ancient grinding gear people.
And it was a very small office, like.
You saw it.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was just.
But I mean, the
regular-
listeners haven't. I'm trying to paint a picture.
Compared to the
It's like
compared to the one we
a
have
small
now.
apartment
Yeah,
size.
yeah, it was. Man, I love that place.
Oh, it wasn't a garage?
No, that was even
That's when it
before that.
started. Yeah,
right,
but
right. All game
but
studios
I
start
was-
in the garage.
Mm.
I was hired when they just got the. Reese was too. When they. Oh no, Reese was in the garage.
Yeah, Reese was in the garage.
Yeah. But yeah, once they got the office, then I came up. It was so long ago that Chris was like, "Yeah, you can stay at my place."
Oh wow! Whoa!
Yeah, so I slept like in his lounge.
Oh really? Holy hell!
Like,
Wow.
that night. And we walked to and from the office, and we were like,
Whoa.
just talking about the game and what he was gonna do.
Wow.
I was thinking to myself, man, can this guy like pay me? that was my impression.
What you mean after seeing his house?
No, just
It's like,
just being like,
ooh.
I'm gonna be moving up to Auckland.
Yeah,
and starting a new.
It's a
thing.
big commitment. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I've got steady work where I was from.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna be moving up for this thing. Can this guy pay me? And yeah, it was cool. We went out for like Mongolian barbecue,
Oh
Chris's
right.
favorite joint, and yeah, we were just hanging out. So it was pretty easy. And Eric was cool to deal with. We would just work together. George and Harry were working from home, so I'd regularly see George and get feedback about my art, and we'd talk about it. We made up all of grinding gear art, so it was like
Wow.
environments, monsters. It was
God.
everything. Yeah, those early days. It was pretty cool.
That was crazy. Who made the Templar left-handed?
I don't know. That was before me. I think. That
Oh
was Eric.
really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So yeah, George rigged them, I believe, and I'm pretty sure Eric would have asked for that, because of what Eric looks for.
Yeah. It's just a minor change. It has no knock-on effect.
It's flipped. Like they would have talked about it a bunch.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the problems spawned out of it.
I love that. That is
Um,
just like this one decision.
Yeah.
I
There
don't
are
know,
even-
so
there are
many
even
years ago
more-
that is.
Yeah, there are even more bigger problems with those original characters. But,
Yeah.
but they will be going away at some point. Which, well, I keep saying that, and it's been like what, 10 years,
Yeah.
12 years.
Like I
Yeah.
said, like we were saying, the feature creep is real.
Wasn't it-
There's like a new thing to do.
This isn't even feature creep. It's like baggage.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
You know?
there's the two sides of it. Like with feature creep, there's
Mm.
stuff that comes up that needs to be done,
Mm.
which means you have to put something else aside.
Yeah.
And if you do that long enough, then,
There's
then you
always-
have baggage.
Yeah. There's always something more urgent to be working on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I might have been playing pool actually. If you were talking about you got hired.
It
by
was
playing
at NZGDC.
pool. Okay.
And I'd already applied, and Eric had messaged me and said, "Oh, yep, cool. I'll send you a art test."
Mhm.
And it had been like over a week or maybe even 2 weeks or something. I hadn't gotten anything.
Yeah.
And because I think I was hanging out with you at that NZGDC,
Mhm.
and you were like, "Oh, that's Eric over there.
Yeah.
You should go talk to
Now,
him."
was that at the media design school? Did
Yeah.
they have a boxing ring
Yeah.
on the side of that
Yeah,
ring?
yeah.
What?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there was a
I
boxing
remember
ring.
this. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Why?
They had a boxing ring and these novelty massive gloves.
Yeah.
And people were just like, I don't know.
Going at it.
Yeah. The thing is, these gloves were like 10 kilos each. So it was just a mission to even swing it
Yeah.
at a person. So it was, it was just hilarity. It was silly,
NZDDC?
silly fun.
Yeah.
What year was this?
I think this might have been the very first year they had it. Like,
No, the very first one was in Dunedin, so
oh, was it?
Ooh.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
maybe it was the first Auckland one.
probably.
Because I went there through. I got some sort of special thing where I only needed to pay like $40 instead of the regular. I don't know,
Oh,
100
student-
something.
student.
Maybe it was a student thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like a student.
Yeah. So I got that and went there with that. Really, it was just like I was just meeting up with a bunch of people that I kind of already knew. Like I kind of already knew you, and there was like Eli from Ninja Kiwi and a bunch of other classmates and stuff. So it was just cool to like meet up with them and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's the main attraction of conferences.
Early grinding gear day. Yeah, it was me, Harry, and Eric, and we'd hang out. We'd hit the
Aw.
town.
Hit the town. Yeah.
And it was,
I can't imagine that.
and it was cool. Yeah, we'd play pool. and stuff.
Eric, he's really good at pool.
I've been playing pool with this other guy,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't say like I thought Eric was okay.
Yeah. I thought he was pretty good
Okay.
compared to me, I guess.
So I think he's okay.
Yeah.
And then I started playing pool with this other guy.
Yeah.
And this other guy is real good.
Wow.
So that is the benchmark now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
I don't play pool.
you don't play pool. Apparently, we're going to get a pool table at work at some point. So
Yes,
you can
promises,
start playing pool
promises.
there.
Yeah.
Although they have been like dulling the place up a little
Yep.
bit.
I know.
There are
Very
blankets
impressed.
now.
Yeah, we got
Yes.
blankets and
Nice little cushions,
yeah.
and they give us
Candles.
treats. There's
know,
always
I
treats at the
know.
kitchen.
Mm. Sugary treats.
Yes. Oh, and sometimes blueberries.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if this is interesting to listeners, but I saw you eating an entire tray of blueberries by yourself the other
No,
day.
no
love
one gets into
blueberries.
those. Yeah, I'll take a
Yeah.
packet.
Yep. No, I love.
It was like a full container. It was a big container, and you were just eating them by yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. We haven't talked about like what games we've been playing.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Blake's been waiting for this
Yeah.
for a while.
Oh,
now,
have you?
We talk about games a lot.
Okay.
So you mentioned earlier you were a horse girl.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about the like horse game?
The different world.
the whole it's a whole different world I didn't know exist of like horse girls and horse girl games.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, your mainstream game industry does not. It caters for mostly specific people.
Yeah, 18 to 35 males.
Yeah. Well, it has in the
Yeah.
past. Being a bit better, being more, wide appealing.
Yeah.
English. So anyone that was not a 18 to 33 male kind of had to make do with their own. They had to make their own entertainment. So I grew up. Like the only mainstream game that I played when I was growing up was Age of Empires. And
yeah.
Yeah, and that was because Dad played Age of Empires, so we were allowed to play Age of Empires.
Oh, wow.
And we weren't allowed consoles in the house.
Why is that? You
PC Master Race.
That's it? Just like...
Well, Dad played computer games.
Yeah.
So he couldn't...
He was real tribal with his video games.
Or just you see, you can't really ban computers in the house because Dad worked from home.
Yeah.
And Mum also had stuff to do on computers. You needed computers in the house.
Yeah.
So very difficult then to have computers in the house and not have computer games.
Yeah.
But they could say no consoles.
Okay.
In fact, my first console that I ever had was the Nintendo Switch.
Oh my god.
That's so sad.
I enjoyed though. I got into modding games, which that's sort of mostly a PC thing anyway.
Yeah, that is definitely a PC thing.
Modding Age of Empires?
No, we'll get into this. So Age of Empires was really the only commercial game that I played. What I played a lot of was web-based, browser-based.
Farmville?
No, text-based.
Oh, okay.
Horse games,
No.
which were usually made by one girl. I was gonna say one person, but I was like, no, it was always
of course.
And it was you had one page, which was the world page, and it had the general store and the sales ring and the show ring, the kind of thing. You click the little icon, takes you to another page. And your horses that you had were a page which had some stats on it and maybe some general description of how tall it is and something. And then you could put your own picture. So that was a roaring trade on DeviantArt as well.
Oh my god.
Commissioning horse pictures for your horses.
Yeah.
Make your text-based make-believe horses.
Oh my god.
The big definitive one was 2000 or 2002. Ludus Equinus.
Okay.
Which was that was the big one. The first one that was it had thousands of players.
Yeah.
And it was run by one girl.
Wow.
And then that was an era, and then Ludus Equinus had a whole bunch of spiritual successes when it finally died, and there's always been one.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple, but there's only been one big one.
Okay.
Always one after the other.
Yeah.
And then some companies kind of got involved. There was horse. It was horse.
What?
I know. It was horse with a W inserted in there. It was stupid. I didn't play that one. But that was a company that started. It was also kind of a text based, but it had more pictures.
Yeah.
And more of a proper website.
How did the people that run that make money?
So you would have premium accounts.
Okay.
So you would have the basic account, which would you can host maybe 3 shows a day.
And what are these shows like?
It's just scripts, really.
Okay.
It would you would enter the horse in, click a button, and then it would do calculations when the show runs. Against stats and stuff. Sometimes they have a random modifier, so the same horses don't win all the time.
And would it tell you basically a story of what the horse is doing?
No, you would just get a notification saying
what?
So and so won first place in this and this show and got 40 points.
It's really cutting out the fluff.
Yeah, no, very basic. Well, it's made by one person. Come on.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, true.
And yeah, so and then companies kind of started making proper websites.
Okay.
But man, those days that's actually how I got good at Photoshop. Is
Oh.
by making horse pictures
Nice.
of those horse games.
Wow.
And I also learned how to build websites also because you would I started I became a moderator for like some of them later when I was a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like make the help page and stuff like that.
Was that Dreamweaver?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
And HTML. I like the old HTML way as well.
Those just don't exist anymore.
I know.
Making a website is so simple now. Back in the day,
well, I mean, it's simple, but at the same time, you're limited.
Yeah.
Like you use templates.
Yeah.
But like Dreamweaver, you could just make whatever.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, and then
the evolution of these horse games.
Yes.
Then, like what? So you were playing these web-based stuff.
Yeah. And then some companies are like, like horse girls. They might not have enough money to have an actual horse, but they still got coin.
They still got money. Yeah.
So, and I was one of those. I would join a game, immediately get the premium membership so that I could have a cute little icon.
Just immediately, straight away.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then they started coming out some actual kind of 3D games.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all really aimed at younger people. And then there were some that were a little more ambiguous, like Lucinda Green's Equestrian Challenge.
Oh my god.
It was like, I can't remember what year that was. It was early. All of this is like 2000.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was like amazing at the time. It was like an actual 3D horse, and like you had a rider, and you would like go on cross country. You would like actually jumps and things.
Wow.
It was great. And I remember it had like this giant panel in front of each of the jumps.
Yeah.
And like it's like red, and as you ride and as you get to the right thing, it turns green. You have to press space.
Oh my god.
That was the game.
Wow. What? That was the game.
That was the game.
That was the game.
I mean, there was also dressage, which was a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
Like dressage is like horse dancing for people that don't know horse stuff.
Yeah.
It's like jumping and horse dance.
Was there not horse maintenance as well?
Oh yeah. Not for those games. There was. So now we start getting into like the mobile games because they were like, yes, girls play mobile games, and some girls like horses. We'll put those two together.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing as dismal as the horse mobile game market.
Really?
It is so soul destroying.
What is so bad?
They just want money. It's just like even more so than most mobile games.
Yeah,
it's like bare minimum to like get a build out to farm some money.
Yeah.
They're
very microtransactional, just straight away is like
very microtransactional, very janky. Little to no actual gameplay. It's just it's again just jump,
right.
and like pick out the horse's hooves, brush it, and that's it. And because horse people are so starved for good horse games, they'll play it. They'll pay money for it.
How many hours did you put into these mobile games?
Oh boy, I don't know. Don't even. I don't know.
I'm seeing a business opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
no, definitely.
I reckon.
So now we get into like 2013 or ish.
Right.
I'm working at the Auckland Art Gallery.
Okay. That's cool.
And I have a lot of spare time. And The Sims 3 Pets expansion comes out, and it has horses. That was an explosion.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
The modding community. Well, first of all the horse girls descended on that. Everybody bought The Sims 3 and just specifically The Sims 3 Pets.
Wow.
And then they began to mod the crap out of
There's
that
such
game.
a hunger for horse games.
Rabid.
Yeah.
Horse girl energy, laser focused.
Like, someone's got to, like...
Somebody got to help them.
Someone's got to make a game here for these girls. Like...
Yeah. So... And then for, I think, about 3 years, I was heavily involved with the modding community for The Sims.
Yeah.
Modding horses. It's where I learned...
Modding horses.
Yeah. Well, you could make patterns and coats and
Right.
things and like gear and all sorts. Like The Sims is wonderful because
Yeah.
its modding community is so well supported.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And that's actually where I learnt that I really like texturing.
Oh, okay.
I wanted, so I was doing this and working at the art gallery, and that's proper like fine artists, right?
Yeah.
Starving paint. Well, they're not starving painters because they also work at the art gallery, which is owned by the council. So
Oh my god.
they get some money.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was kind of the dream job for people graduating out of fine arts. Like you have the art gallery job, which feeds you, and
Yeah.
then you do your painting and stuff
Wow.
on the side.
What? Just a side tangent. What did you do at the art gallery?
So we were front of house.
Yeah.
And essentially that meant standing around in spaces rostered around in the gallery. And the idea is that we would engage people about the art.
Okay.
Like you're there to like make it memorable for
Yeah.
people and like particularly in the contemporary art things, it's a little not accessible to the public.
Did you have to explain why this picture of a red cube
yeah,
was
and oh boy,
amazing?
I could.
Yeah?
I could.
Oh, okay.
I actually was selected to be a tour guide.
Oh,
So-
wow.
So I was a tour guide there as well. Would give daily tours. And I there was one exhibit which was about Billy Apple, who was a contemporary artist that kind of was inspired by Andy Warhol.
Oh, okay.
And what he was interested in was exploring the blurry line between when art becomes like a product, like advertising. That
Yep.
that fuzzy line between you're advertising a product using art
Mm.
and then art as a thing itself.
Mm.
So his exhibit was exploring that.
Yeah.
And if you just walked in there, like, he had a can of apple juice.
Yeah,
with just an apple on
I
it.
so knew it was going to be a can of something. Yeah.
But like Billy Apple juice.
Right. Oh,
Like-
yeah. Makes
yeah,
sense.
Yeah. And surprised Apple actually didn't go after him. I think they might have actually. But
It's part of the art.
yeah,
Over time.
the copyright argument part of
Yeah,
part of the artwork.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the.
I like to call contemporary art applied psychology rather than visual art because that's what it is.
Yeah.
But so you had these cans of apple juice with the apple on it, and it was in the art gallery on a little like platform thing.
Mm.
But it was also being sold as a drink in our cafe. And
Was that part of it as well? Like, was that in?
He loved that.
Oh
He
my
loved
God.
that because he was like, "What is art now?" You know, it's that. Well, is it art because it's in an art gallery? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
If
like,
you saw that on the street, you'd be like, "That's trash,
yeah,
not
yeah,
art."
exactly.
Yeah.
And like that was, and you know, it's that kind of people sitting there thinking too hard about things.
Yeah.
But you know, I took people through that exhibit, and they would be like, "What the fuck is this?" Like when they start, and by the end, they're like, "Oh my god, galaxy brain!"
Wow.
So I could definitely do it.
Yeah. Wow.
But that was my job.
Yeah.
And then I was modding Sims horses on the
Yep.
side,
Yep.
and realizing that I really enjoyed texturing things. It was use for my 2D art skills that I didn't have before.
Cool. Yeah.
And then I really wanted to be able to know how to make things.
Yeah.
Like the meshes and
Yeah.
stuff. Because I tried to learn by myself a bit, but I got so confused about like vertices and stuff. I was like, someone's gonna have to. I don't have the life power will to
Mhm.
to do this myself. So that's how I ended up going to MDS and being interested in games as a career
Wow.
because of The Sims, because of horses.
Wow.
Now I work at Grinding Gear,
Yeah.
making dark fantasy
Yeah.
UI stuff.
You've been you also, I think, haven't you like talked to Eric about trying to get a horse in the game? So it's going full circle.
Oh, and Chris knows now that I'm
Yeah.
a crazy horse girl too. But that's completely not my fault
Oh,
at
okay.
all. Like he turns out knows someone that I went to middle school with
Oh wow.
who told him that, oh yeah. Actually, it was really nice of her because she she hyped me up to Chris. She was like, "Oh, I remember that girl. She was the most talented artist that I've ever known." And I'm
Wow.
like, "Sup, girl? Thank you."
That's amazing.
But yeah, then she's like, "Oh yeah, and also she really likes horses." And then Chrissy messages me, is like, "So I hear you really like horses," and I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Wow.
Yeah, because I think I showed Eric a horse that I made
Yeah.
at MDS, and he said, yeah, like we could maybe sneak one of those, like maybe in the menagerie.
Yeah, that's right. I guess you could just have a horse in there.
I don't know.
but-
Dane loves this idea.
Yeah.
Dane thinks that we should have a secret horse level.
Yeah. Secret horse level.
Because
would be
there's
pretty
no
cool.
horses in Path of Exile,
No.
as you know.
No. They're an exotic animal.
Yeah, secret.
The characters in
secret.
Path of Exile will be like, what is this
Yeah.
strange creature?
This most unique creature.
Yeah. There's no horns or claws or
Yeah.
like
It just does what you tell it to.
Yeah.
Huh?
yeah. So what horse game are you playing now?
Okay, so now we reach where horse games are at now. There is again the one horse game,
Yeah.
which is called Star Stable, and it's made by a studio in Sweden that's about the same size as Grinding Gear.
Okay.
And their story starts with real janky single player games, a series of them,
Mm-hmm.
which were exactly the same gameplay, just in a different season.
Was it
Each time.
was it also horse based those?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
This looks incredible.
You're just looking it up. Sam's
so
looking up.
you're gonna
Star Stable.
see a variety of art styles if you Google this thing, because
I'm just looking at their website,
oh, okay, right, yep.
the .com.
Yep.
What I saw looked very World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So the very janky first single player, yes.
Yep.
Game series that was only released in Sweden.
Oh wow.
And then it kind of grew, and then they started an online, like a proper. I don't really know what you can call it.
MMO.
I guess at that time it wasn't massive, but
An MMO.
Yeah, an MMO.
Yeah, an MMO. HMO, horse.
Yeah.
Online game. And yeah, that's now been around for like 10 years now,
Wow.
and it's got millions of players, all very thirsty horse girls. For
So they're filling the
horse
void. They're the ones that filled that void of
oh
the
yeah,
horse game.
yeah. Apparently they have like 500,000 monthly active players,
Wow.
which is a lot. It's like it's kind of on par with
Yeah.
with
Because that's
PoE.
the thing. It's such a different world that I look at that game and go, how is this able
Yeah.
to sustain itself?
Well, yeah, no, there's a lot of girls in the universe. What
Turns
do you know?
out, I know.
They got to get on Twitch. You know?
Yeah, and it's like there's no killing or
Yeah.
really much.
I saw an ogre in one of these images.
An ogre.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
And that was
load it
just a
up.
big horse.
You keep talking.
Yeah, and it's like there's lots of like fetch and carry quests. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk about what you actually do in the game?
It's
like,
so it starts out fairly normal.
yeah.
And normal for horse girl. So there's
Normal,
like,
which means what?
yeah. So the horse genre,
Yeah.
because it's so underserved, it's just its own genre, no matter what media it is. There's some very established tropes
Okay.
in the genre.
Yeah.
So there's very like you'll have like a
What is that
troubled
guy?
teen.
What is that guy?
Oh, Sav's showing her a picture of
Yeah, okay, so that's
an ogre.
I will tell you about that quest. It was a good quest.
Oh yeah, there is an ogre guy there.
So what was I saying?
Talking about ogres?
No,
Talking
no.
about ogres or talking about tropes of
All right,
horse.
yeah. So okay, yeah. So
stories.
there's usually like a troubled teen,
Yeah.
or there's like a young girl who moves to a new place,
Yeah.
sent away from the city, whatever. And then there's a horse that they have a special bond with, and she, knowing nothing about horses, just magically like is the only one that can ride this horse, and then they like win this show or whatever and save the farm, whatever.
Mhm.
There's a
Would this be a cliche?
very much
Okay.
yes. All the horse movies are basically that.
It's like Twilight.
Yeah. Except every single movie is Twilight. Except for the 1994 Black Beauty, which is
Oh yeah.
actually a very good movie.
Oh.
Only good horse movie.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Sean Bean's in it, and he doesn't die.
I don't believe you.
He plays the horse.
No, he plays the horse farm breeder guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like BT is born on his farm.
Oh.
Anyway, so yeah, this Star Stable thing starts out very normal, where you are a girl that is sent a summer vacation to this island where like it's a horse island.
Yep.
It's known for its wild horses.
Yep.
You're sent there.
Huh?
You're sent.
You go there for the summer vacation.
Okay.
Um,
By boat.
Yep, by boat.
Okay. Cool.
Are you
There's
staying?
a feferry.
Are you staying with family? Is this? Or you
Who fucking knows?
you just exiled to an island?
Who knows? You go there, and then there's the beginning sort of stable area.
Yeah. Is that the Star Stable?
No, it's called Moorland.
Oh god.
What's it called?
Moorland.
More land.
You know what? You know Moorlands, like in England.
Oh, the Moors.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, I'm
Yeah,
with you.
yeah.
Okay.
okay.
Good.
It was like more land. Like there's just more land. Like,
Well, topical
You
because
start-
topical because the first sort of quests that you have,
Yeah.
apart from like the obvious like, here's your starter horse that you're gonna be lent by the
Okay.
stable, and here's how you get on and all that jazz. Like
Right.
you know, click here to
Yep.
do. The first quests that you actually end up going on is basically trying to save the farm from this dude who wants to bulldoze the area to
Yeah.
build like condos,
Ah.
like holiday houses. So it's like you arrive at the island and immediately become an environmental terrorist.
What-
Kind of, because you're like sabotaging his equipment. And,
But what
like,
are you? Oh, so you're going up to equipment and clicking on it, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah, and, like-
so it's very much like World of Warcraft. You're clicking on a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
And then there are like chase sequences, like
Oh,
like
yeah.
a race, a timed
There
race.
must be a lot of those.
So many of those.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And you're on a horse doing this?
you are on a horse, yes,
Okay.
but it's like the beginning horse, so it's slow and
Yep.
handles like ass.
Oh, the handling is different.
Yeah. So as you level up, you
Yeah.
get more skill points,
Yep.
and then as your horse levels up, it gains stats too. So its stats are like things like the normal kind of ones. It's like speed and agility and
Okay.
endurance.
Yeah.
But you've got like a handling skill and stuff like that.
Ah. And what does the handling mean? Does it just like you can turn sharper? Or
Yeah, you can
something?
turn sharper. The horse has like a discipline stat, which means that it'll listen faster to you if you want it to stop or like go faster.
Oh, it doesn't just stop.
No,
Oh, wow.
no, and like
wow.
and actually, you know, just from a technical point of view,
Yeah.
horses are really difficult
Yeah.
because not only do you have to animate like flowing locks of manes and tails and
Yeah.
forelegs and lots of things, their turn arc is very different from a bipedal thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
I'm thinking about a game actually.
yeah, I know you're thinking.
Oh,
It's very technical.
yes, it is very technical. We
And
know
they've got-
about this one. Yes,
and then-
and I
yeah,
agree
and they've
with
got
you.
stats. They've got stats.
Yeah, and I agree that game is
You a
very
horse?
good.
Are you a horse boy?
Shit.
You might be a horse boy.
Ah, caught out.
Red Dead was a gateway to.
I have to say, yeah, no, Red Dead does.
Cowboy.
Red Dead does deserve a special mention though, because
Yeah.
they've always been on top of the horse tech. Like their
Okay.
horse tech is like, honestly, I feel like horse games owe so much to Rockstar.
Wow, really?
Yes, because
Wow.
of the
That's
horse
how you
tech.
do it, man. That's how you do
Because
the
of the
horses.
horse tech that they pioneered.
It is really good.
It is always
Yeah.
like Red Dead. The first one
Yeah.
was best horses like and at its time. Those
Yeah.
horses still hold up actually to everything else. Like,
Wow.
don't get me started on Ubisoft.
Yeah, I know.
Oof.
I think I because I was playing Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah, which they reused.
Yeah, and I think I described the horse to you after playing Red Dead as like you feel like you're riding a taxidermied horse.
Yeah, it looks like
It's-
one too.
Yeah.
And the rest of the world is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So jarring. Anyway, Red Dead 2,
Yeah.
again, their horse tech is just the best.
Mm.
Aside from the fact that they didn't animate the ears very well.
Ooh. It's procedural.
spend too much time on the balls.
Yeah. That's if you had to pick.
Also, the balls are not accurate at all either. So, like, if I had to
Are you
nitpick,
kidding me?
yeah,
Name another game.
That's more accurate.
I'm sure that there are other games that have animated balls. Oh
They
boy!
shrivel in the cold.
See, like,
How accurate? It's pretty accurate.
no, but they're the wrong shape. They look like man balls.
Oh my god.
Horse balls are very different.
You have
Don't
to stylize them. You have to
ask me
stylize
how I
them.
know that.
I played Red Dead for ages, and I have not noticed
You
the
probably have a
balls in any
female.
of these.
You got a female.
Oh,
horse.
maybe.
Yeah.
They do come in female.
I actually do only ride mares in that game
Yeah.
because the stallions annoy me so much.
Why?
Because their balls are wrong, and then also their ears don't work right either. And and you know what? If you're riding a horse, what are you staring at? The ears.
Okay.
Like, if you're gonna have some priorities,
But
make
what,
those
the mare ears are more correct?
No. But at least when I'm not on the horse, I'm not annoyed by the fact that it's got two little ping pongs sticking out the back.
Mm.
Oh my god.
Horse balls are kidney shaped, by the way.
I'm not gonna defend these ears.
But you will defend the ball.
Yeah, they're accurate.
Why on earth for the balls?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Star Stable.
Yeah. What are their balls like?
They have none balls.
That's way worse, isn't it?
None balls. Also, no male. You have to be a girl character.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Because the whole theme is about sisterhood and blah
Yeah.
blah. Like, it's very squarely aimed at young teen girls.
Yeah.
But because there's nothing else for us, all us oldies are on there too. Feeling awkward. So yeah, you start off like with some light environmental terrorism.
Okay.
And then as you get on in the story, you meet these what they call soul riders, who are 4 girls with magical powers and
Whoa.
magical horses, fighting also to protect this land, this island, but not from environmental damage, but the evil powers from a different universe. And then you're
Monsters.
like, well, yeah.
The orc.
Well,
that
so
stuff?
there's one quest where, so as another bit of this island, there are wild horses, normal wild horses there, and there's a little girl there who like is friends with one of the wild horses. Again, a massive trope. But where it starts getting slightly derailed is when the horse gets abducted by a bunch of evil scientists.
Oh my god.
And they're going to experiment on these horses with a serum which is derived from the magic of the other universe.
Oh my god.
And you have to track down these scientists, and then you arrive at this dingy, gross pier place, and you have to bust into a warehouse, and like it becomes
You're
like a
riding your
stealth
horse
mission.
the entire time?
No, you leave the horse outside the warehouse.
There's no horse stealth?
No horse stealth, no. And there's like security cameras and stuff you have to avoid. It's very, and then you like show off against the evil scientists in there. But they've already injected this horse with this serum, and the horse has gone like super like Hulk smash mode and like insane.
Yeah.
And the horse busts out and like Hulk smashes as they kind of wanted it to, but not like that. And then the girl talks to the horse, is like, my friend, blah, 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 and then the power of friendship and magic, and then the horse calms down, but it's still like super buff.
And do you get that horse to ride?
No, she that's her horse. Like, she stays with that horse. But once you complete that mission, you can buy that breed of horse.
Oh, okay.
But so yeah, in that warehouse, then as you're fighting with these scientists and this evil dude, the evil dude's like, I gotta get going, but I'm gonna inject the scientist with the serum, and then the scientist goes,
a serum made for horses.
Well, like their magic serum.
Eye for an eye.
It turns into that ogre, and then you have to run away from the ogre guy.
Oh wow.
And like trick him into falling into a trap and that kind of thing.
When you say you're fighting with the scientist, what? There's no combat, right?
No, there's not. It's like you're basically trying to run away from them. You're trying to
aggressively running
away. Well, like you're like I'm trying to remember because it's kind of early on and it's been a while since I've been there.
Yeah.
But I seem to remember like these like environmental obstacles.
Okay.
Like you'll like click on this bit and that pole will like fall that way so
Oh,
that
I
you
get
can't
it.
get to you that way.
Yeah.
There's like, you know,
Yep.
probably more realistic fighting than what happens in
Yeah,
other
yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get on your horse and she gets on her now super magical buff horse
Wow.
and like escape. And
Is this like right after saving the farm? This
no,
quest
this
line?
is a little bit
This is
later.
while?
It's a little bit later.
So is it a slow escalation
Yeah,
from
yeah,
saving
yeah.
the farm
Yeah,
to
yeah.
interdimensional?
Yeah. Oh, and then at some point you reach another part of the map and suddenly there's druids
Oh my god.
and there's also a blue squirrel that talks and then they have their own secret realm which you go into to plot like how to save the island.
There's a lot going on
There's
this
a lot of
horse
strange
island.
things that start happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a great time. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
And it used to look like crap,
Yeah.
that game. But just in the last couple of years, they have a new art director, and
Mm.
they're very clearly taking inspiration from other popular MMOs,
Yeah.
like
'Cause
Warcraft.
it looks very.
It's very
looks
beautiful
like-
now, and they're working real hard on it, and they update weekly, which
Oh wow.
is like updating every 3 months for us is like a lot.
Mm.
They do it weekly. I'm so impressed
Is it
with them.
substantial?
Sometimes it is like, they recently released a whole new area. Like their map is giant as well. It takes 10 minutes for you to ride at a full gallop across map.
Well, they got to
Which is-
make a big map, right? Because you're on horse, what 90% of the time?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah.
But it's not a big map. It's not like empty open world.
Yeah.
It's chock a block full of stuff because they've been releasing it chunk by chunk over
Yeah.
the last 10 years.
Wow.
So they recently released another chunk, which the environment is so detailed and
Mm.
yeah, and that also I suspect I think they use Unity engine, which I think their tech debt is really bad.
Yeah.
They like because that engine is now properly old.
Yeah.
I think so. They're probably having to do all of this, keep up weekly updates, and try and like revive their back end stuff so that it still works.
Mm.
So yeah, I imagine they're real busy.
Mm.
So yeah, like we're coming along. Also, in terms of horse games, Pickpock, which is a mobile studio here in New Zealand, they did a mobile horse game, also a money making thing.
Wow.
But they used motion capture data that Weta had for horses to do their racehorse game.
Very cool.
Which like the shader for the coats on the horses was actually the best that I've ever seen on a mobile game. Like it's actual proper anisotropic lighting.
Yep.
Like, along the hair shafts. And for a mobile game I was like, oh damn.
Wow. Mobile games are looking pretty good these days.
They are actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost it's like first we had iPods and phones and then the phones became the iPods and now I just feel like phones are gonna become computers.
Well, the Switch is almost.
Yeah,
phone
I mean,
size.
yeah. It's all roads lead to Rome.
Yeah. All roads lead to phone. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. I enjoyed that.
I'm so pleased with myself.
Sam's not impressed at all.
Sam's shaking his head. Yeah.
Anyway, that's my horse girl
Yeah.
horse girl gamer.
How
journey.
often are you playing it? If they update weekly, are you jumping in?
I mean,
weekly?
I've actually finished everything you can do in that game. So
Really?
at the moment, I'm not playing it very much.
When's their next big expansion?
I don't know. They do have a main quest update coming next week.
Okay.
So I'll be logging on to do that.
Do they do big expansions, or is it just the steady updates?
It's steady trickle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like steady trickle and then like, oh, here's our big expansion. It'll just be the
I
steady
mean,
trickles work up
sometimes
to it.
like for example, the latest area that they did, it was like a wild woods, very much like a Fey Woods,
Okay.
Fey Wilds kind of place.
Yeah.
And they released that over a series of months.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like they would
Yeah.
have the first area,
Yeah.
and then they would have a couple of other updates, and then they would release the next chunk of it.
Okay. That's cool.
Like, and they would have narrative reasons. Like
Yeah.
They would be like, I don't know, a landslide that you have to clear or something.
Yeah. Okay. It sounds interesting. I'm really interested in it
I'm
because
actually-
it's so foreign
I'm
to
actually
me.
very surprised at how interested you were in all of
It's-
this.
it's because
Like,
it's
I'm
just
used
like-
to people being like,
It's because it's like something I did not know even existed, and it's
It's a whole nother game world.
Yeah, it's a whole community, a giant community that I just didn't know was there and catered to in this. Like they have, it's basically
a parallel
a World
universe.
of Warcraft. Yeah, it's just like this
It's
World
a
of Warcraft.
parallel WoW.
Yeah, it's just like this big, huge MMO game that I've never heard of. I don't.
It's where all the girl gamers are,
It's
man.
so crazy. Yeah, I just think it's like so interesting. I like those kind of things of like there's these intense communities for things that I just like didn't
Very
even
niche
know.
interests.
Yeah.
The pickpocket game looks good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Right,
Not,
what-
again, very repetitive gameplay, but
Right, okay.
it's got horses that look fairly decent. So
The art looks really cool.
yeah, so so people will pay money.
Mm.
They will.
All right. Well, I think we'll wrap this up.
So, Kiara, you have any final notes? Final things you want to add? No?
No, thank you for letting me talk about horse games
You've
for like
said it
half
all.
an hour.
Yeah. It's so I don't know. It's just so strange to me. It's like I watched like an hour-long YouTube video about like bronies.
Oh, was that Jenny's?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
just like it's so alien to me, but it's so like such a huge like thing. I
Okay.
love that kind of stuff. It's just like I have no interest in it
almost like there's
myself.
a
I'm just
whole
more
world
interested
out
in the
there.
community.
Mhm.
There's a whole world out there.
I know. It's like I've discovered a parallel world. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so thanks, Kiara, for coming.
Thank you for
Been
having
great.
me.
Yep. And thanks, Sav.
Any-
Yeah.
Thanks, Sav, for coming.
Anytime.
What's your favorite? Oh, I was going to say what your favorite horse game is, but it's obvious.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. I always liked, I thought,
Star Stable.
Star Stable. I thought Skyrim was pretty good.
Yeah, Skyrim was pretty good. Those
Yeah.
horses were actually accurate.
They
too.
were like big boys.
Yeah, chonkers.
Yeah. They were like, what were they, Clydesdales or something
No,
crazy
they
like that?
they looked like the kind of pony what they would call pit ponies.
Okay.
They were ponies used for mining back in the day,
Ah,
but they were of British extraction and very fluffy and very strong.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought they were pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, if I can never finish these podcasts without Nick just makes it so makes it look so flawless. So if you want to email us, we are frontseatquestions@gmail.com. We're on Twitter @frontseatcast. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/frontseatcast. We have a WordPress site. We have a YouTube that is youtube.com/frontseatcast. No one is twitching anymore. You should rate us on iTunes and tell your friends and like and subscribe and hit the bells and dig us and upvote us and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for this week. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Who knows what guest we're going to have? I have no idea.
Fabian, you can have Fabian.
Can have Fabian. There's going to be working out schedules and stuff. But thanks again, Kiara. It was great having you. And that's a wrap.
So, what is it? Animal Zoo? Zoo Tycoon? Oh,
Oh, well, we'll get into it.
Well, there's Zoo Tycoon, Star Stable.
Uh-huh.
Star Stable.
Star
and Planet
Stable.
Zoo, which is the spiritual successor.
Oh yeah, Planet Zoo. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
right one. Yeah, it's like
Um,
the spiritual successor to Zoo Tycoon.
Yeah. We can talk a bit about Rocket Works if you're all right with that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll try and hold back.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the connection?
I work for them.
You work for them now?
No, not now.
Oh, you did work for them?
Yeah, that's where I was before I came to Grinding Gear,
What?
which was really funny.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. We should have saved that for the maybe for the podcast.
What do you mean?
Wait, are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah. We've been recording for like 30 minutes.
You didn't do the
A clap?
No, the freaking intro.
No. It's recording. I can cut things up, man. I can edit stuff. This can be the intro of like you just going, what? What?
The reaction?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And people will be like, what's he reacting to? Yeah. Hey, we
That,
ready to
that
start?
sounds like something you'd do.
Yeah, that is something I do. I do miss Nick because he was a good source of intros and outros.